Alexandria, Egypt. The city once home to powerful queens today hosts a new generation ready to conquer. This isn't just a final, it's the dawn of a new era for modern pentathlon. Super Sunday is here, and 18 incredible women will push the boundaries of this transformed sport. The brutal Egyptian sun is overhead, but these athletes are ready. They've earned their place, and they're here to make history. The legendary Cleopatra, whose brilliance shaped empires, will serve as inspiration for the amazing athletes about to take centre stage. They will begin with the fencing elimination round, 5 rounds of DE, first to 5 hits, or the leading athlete at the end of 1 minute of fencing. From the piste to the obstacles. 8 obstacles and a race against the clock. 9 heats will comprise the obstacle course race, but it's a race against the clock, as it is in the pool where we go next. 25-metre pool, so 8 laps to complete the 200-metre freestyle. Again, the clock is the thing to keep an eye on for the modern pentathlon points, which will all be accumulated over the first 3 disciplines to create a handicapped laser run. 3,000 metres around the course, 5 laps. I'll create a formation lap first before entering the range for the first of 4 visits, where the athletes all need to hit the target 5 times before they can progress. After the 4th visit, it is a dash to the line, and a dash is pretty tricky in these tough conditions. Whoever crossed that line first will be the 2025 World Cup final champion. And I cannot emphasize how brutally hot it is. We have seen over the course of the qualification athletes suffering under this baking sun. The stands are in the shade, but I can tell you that it is still really, really hot and very, very humid. But the goal here is to stand in front of this amazing backdrop with a medal around your neck, and the 18 in the lineup will be coming out very soon. Athletes start in fencing ranking order. Part of this new development, evolution of the sport sees the athletes ranked on their performance through the fence through the 3 World Cups this season. So no ranking round for the World Cup final for the first time. They'll go straight into the direct eliminations. Xiong, sitting in 13th, was out there in the heat on the practice piste, getting ready, as were a number of others.
Representing Italy, Aurora Tognetti.
Time to meet the athletes. Ranked first for the fence, Alessia Tognetti, the Italian, is a 2-time junior world champion. Just 14 years old. Watch out for Farida Khalil. She's gone 2 golds and a silver this season through the 3 World Cups. She's a 14-year-old superstar in the making. Just missed out on the medals at the Junior World Championships last weekend. Blanca Bauer is one of the strongest athletes in the lineup.
Representing Egypt,
another junior took bronze at the World Championships last weekend. Malak Ismail came 12th at the Paris 2024 Olympic Games. Colleen Flavin from France will be seeking a good position after the fence and the swim. Swim coming up 3rd of the disciplines.
Representing France, Louison Casali.
Louison Casali, the second of the French athletes in this 18-woman lineup. Got silver medal at the Junior European Championships in 2024. Neutral athlete Violeta Hrieva made her World Cup debut last season, got a silver medal at the Cairo World Cup in March.
Representing Switzerland, Anna Yurt.
Another Olympian, 11th at Paris 2024, Anna Yurt gets to the piste for Switzerland.
Representing France, représentant la France, smiling all the time, Rebecca Castodi.
Second of the French athletes, Rebecca Castaldi, another two-time junior world champion. Taking gold in 2021 and 2022. The 2021 junior European champion from Italy comes out next, Alice Ronaldo.
Individual neutral athlete Anastasia Malashinoka.
Anastasia Malashinoka is a neutral athlete. She got a bronze medal on the circuit this season at the Cairo World Cup.
Representing Hungary, Blanka Guzi.
Just missed out on the medals at Paris 2024, Blanka Guzi from Hungary, 7th at last year's edition of this World Cup final.
Representing Korea, Seong-min Seong.
Paris Olympian, Paris 2024 bronze medalist, Seong Shun-min. She was out practicing her closing parries on the piste a little bit earlier on. Watch out for this pole on the obstacles. Małgorzata Karbownicz out next. Will she be making some moves through the pack? The second discipline. Just 17 years old. Another one to watch out for on the obstacles. Vivian Mayer. She fits really well at the Junior World Championships last weekend.
Japan, Yuri Suzuki.
Suzuki Yuri from Japan came into the sport through the biathlon and triathlon route.
Representing Turkey, Ilka Özüksel.
Turkey's Ilka Özüksel, two-time Olympian, came 6th at Paris 2024. She is a World Cup final specialist, having picked up bronze and silver in the last two editions. And completing the lineup, another Paris Olympian, Laura Herrera, for a silver medal at the 2023 European Games.
So, ladies and gentlemen, let's welcome our athletes in the final. Women. Good luck, everybody. Let's start.
18 athletes ready to take to the piste to start this World Cup final. It's a race to the line. We've met the athletes. I'm Karen Bashir, and joining me, Youth Olympic Games finalist and African Championship silver medalist, Alida van der Merwe. Alida, melting much?
It is really hot here in Alexandria, but we have the very best of modern pentathlon competing here today. They've competed at all the World Cup series, collecting precious points as they start the direct elimination round.
Yeah, you've seen an incomplete round of 32, just two fights going on there. We have two pistes. The feature piste in shot right now is piste A. I'll be taking you through the action there, and the leader is going to keep us updated on the B piste, which is just to the right of the piste we are looking at. Up first, it's Suzuki of Japan and Özüksel of Turkey on our feature piste, and coming up very shortly on the B piste, Mayer of Switzerland will take on Heredia of Spain, and we'll be leaning on Alida for updates from that piste. Suzuki then on the right, first to 5 hits, whole body is target in épée, got a hit with the tip of your sword, and it's the first one to hit. And on the counter-attack, Özüksel gets the first point of this World Cup final. So like I say, first to 5 points within a minute of fencing. And if they don't get to 5 points, then the leading fencer will progress to the next round. If they're tied on score, it will be the higher ranked fencer who will progress, and that higher ranked fencer is always on the right. Suzuki getting her first point.
Well, Heredia started the bout off in piece B, winning that first point, and it was a double score now, 2-1 for Heredia. Meyer with the priority, less than 27 seconds left, and Meyer goes for that flash, doesn't quite get it. It's the riposte from Heredia, picks up that third point.
Suzuki here binding her opponent's blade up into preem, where the wrist goes above your head and the point points downwards. But that is a beauty of a hit from Ozuksho. Attack to the upper part of the leg on preparation to go 4-2 up, and Ozuksho does the job in pretty quick fashion on the A-piece.
Well, on piece B, it is 4-2 for Heredia, and it's victory for Heredia. Heredia will continue to the top 16 up against Farida Khalil. And we've seen Heredia really build her way through the direct elimination round. She'll be looking to do that again today.
Tough match up next, though, against Farida Khalil, who's just taken the junior world title in Shekesherava in Hungary. Coming out now on the feature piece, well, the winner of the round of 32 match, Ozuksho, on the left, going up against Tognetti, the top seed for the fence from Italy, on the right-hand side. Italy famed for its prowess of the Olympic fencing piste. So the pentathletes get to train with some of the very best in the world, and Tognetti just using her reach and a little bit of distance to get the counter-attack to lead this round of 16 match. The importance of the first hit in these épée bouts, absolutely critical. It forces the training athlete to come out on the attack, and that makes it a predictable tactic for the leader to manage. A little bit of argy-bargy in close quarters, but no hit scored here. Well, this one's nearly over, and they haven't even started on the B piece just yet. And Tognetti gets the hit. Must have been about the 5th or 6th attempt for the round the world. Ozuksho leveling up, not quite though, gets a single point, and the double there where both defences hit each other within 0.02 of a second. Means Tognetti still in control.
Well, it's on piece B where Khalil starts the bout off with that excellent flash in the first 5 seconds. Khalil finished 5th in the fencing final in Cairo, 6th in the fencing final in Budapest, and 14th in the fencing final in Pazarchik. Heredia only competed in the Budapest World Cup. She really needs to build her way through if she wants to make it to podium contention in this final, but it's Khalil picks up that second point. Heredia needs to look for that comeback if she wants to continue this race.
We're coming out on the A-piece. It's Yurt of Switzerland on the right-hand side, seeded 8th against Castaudi of France on the left, the 9th ranked fencer.
Well, Khalil managed to block off Heredia's preparation on attack. She's just straightening her blade now before going to on-guard position. Scores 3-0 for Khalil. 42 seconds left on the clock. And Khalil goes for that flash, but it's Heredia step back, blocks off Khalil's blade and picks up the first point.
Double here, scored on the A-piece. Yurt and Castaudi inseparable at the moment. Just a reminder, Yurt is the higher ranked fencer, so if the scores are level at the end, it will be Yurt who will progress to the quarterfinals.
Well, Heredia pressured Khalil towards the back of the piece, but it's Khalil who just mastered that point. It is 4-1 for Khalil. 23 seconds left on the clock.
Nice little bit of second intention there from Anna Yurt. Looked to show the counter-attack and then went for the second intention parry riposte to land the first single point, and now goes too clear. Yurt, the higher-ranked fencer, in control on Piste A.
Well, on Piste B, that is a victory for Khalil. She will continue to the quarterfinals, and she will fence against the winner of Hurieva and Ronaldo of Italy.
Well, Yurt does it. 3 hits out of the same mould for the 5-3 victory for Yurt, and she is through to the quarterfinals. And coming out, trying to catch up on the B-piste, it's Ronaldo and Hurieva as we take a look back at Yurt's mastery of the second intention parry riposte. And coming out on the A-piste, we have Colleen Flavin of France on the right-hand side up against Blanka Guzi of Hungary on the left. Flavin, the higher-ranked fencer.
So Piste B is underway. Ronaldo on the left and Hurieva on the right. And Ronaldo went for that flash attack, but it's too light for this bout. Scores 1-1. Hurieva on the right-hand side with priority. You can even see the star next to the athlete's name that has priority, which is really important in this direct elimination format.
Yeah, super important, especially in these hot conditions. Athletes perhaps not wanting to exert too much effort in the blazing sun with the full white fencing kit on.
Well, it's all about timing for Ronaldo as she picks up that point with a beautiful flash attack. Hurieva looking to apply pressure now to French athletes, and Hurieva went for that surprise flash, but it's a double point. 3-2, 25 seconds left on the clock.
Left-handed Colleen Flavin using distance to try and control the fight, but Guzi on the attack, hits on the inside of the arm, righty against lefty. Extra reach for Flavin with her French grip, but with that you lose a little bit of power and control.
Well, we got a bit of close quarters on Piste B and there was no point there. 13 seconds left, 4-2. And it's victory for Ronaldo. She will continue to fence up against Khalil of Egypt in the quarterfinals.
Well, Guzi just coming off the piece, checking her weapon, because below the piece, which is on a platform, is the grass. And I think she managed to dig the tip into the grass, so she needs to check the gauge as a beautiful attack into preparation from Flavin puts her in massive control of the fight. Guzi needs 2 points to progress here to the round of 8. Time against her. Flavin picks her off on the counter attack, and this is how crucial the first having the lead as time ticks away becomes obvious, as the training athlete just has to go on the attack, and Flavin finishes the job off. 3 counter-attacks to finish things off because she got herself into a leading position, and the French athlete is through to the quarterfinals.
Well, in Piste B, we have Maloshenika, neutral athlete, and Louison Kazali of France. Kazali finished 6th overall in Budapest and in Pasarchek. She is the highest seeded fencer in this bout. But Maloshenika has that bronze medal in her pocket early on in the season from the World Cup in Cairo to really experienced athletes on Piste B. Maloshenika starts the bout off winning that first point. You can even see the tape on Kazali's mask really blocking off the sun, because it is tricky weather conditions here in Alexandria fencing outdoor.
That's in the picture-in-picture on the top right of your screen, the fencer on the right with that sun shield temporary sun shield of tape across the mask. Here we have Malak Ismail on the right for Egypt, taking on Song Sun-min from Korea. Song was going through the paces on the piste in the warm-up.
Kazali trying to go for that lunge retreat, doesn't quite get it, and as Malashina picks up that third point, 20 seconds left. Kazali needs to look for a gap. It gets close quarters. Looks like no point. It was point after halt. No point for Kazali.
Well, Song here putting on a real show against the number 4 seed. She was practicing her circular cease and octave closing parries in the warm-up, and she just showed why she was practicing that. For those in the know, that's a line of attack. Number 6 line is the on-guard position line, and Song is causing Ismail a real problem here. Could get a big upset.
Well, your Cairo bronze medalist Malashina proceeds through to the quarterfinals. She will be fencing against the winner of Bauer and Karbovnik.
Xiong in control here. Ismail is in trouble. She gets a double, but it's not enough as Xiong creates the first big upset of the fence here, taking out the number 4 seed, Ismail. Top half of the draw in the quarterfinals, done and dusted. Tognetti will take on Yurt. Flavin will take on Xiong. And Xiong, she started so well with a beautiful closing parry to take the lead, and from there, Malak Ismail was in trouble. Got one more to go in the 16 on the B piste. The leader will be talking us through Bauer of Hungary and Karbovnik of Poland. We're already moving in to the quarterfinals on the A piste as Tognetti on the right takes on Yurt on the left.
Well, it's Karbovnik to the left-hand side of the piece of Poland, picks up that first point. Bauer on the right-hand side. Bauer finished and qualified to every final in this World Cup series, so she has the highest seed. But it's Karbovnik who we've seen in this semi-final where she really aced those attacks in preparation. But it's a double point as Bauer went for that lunge. Bauer needs to hype herself up. She wants to follow through with this direct elimination round. And she goes for that flesh, picks it up.
Well, halfway through this quarterfinal match, and it's Yurt who scores the first hit in close quarters. Yurt, the number 8 seed, leading the way. That means that Tognetti, the number 1 seed in the fence, just needs to level up to put herself in control of the match.
And we see it again, Karbovnik making use of that parry 8 deep lunge. She really gets the perfect timing for those actions, but it's Bauer responding. Double point on piece B. 18 seconds left, 4-3. Bauer looking for a comeback. She needs a single light. Oh, and it's Karbovnik who changes it up from a parry 8 lunge to a parry 8 flesh on step forward. Excellent stuff from Karbovnik. She proceeds to the quarterfinals up against Malashina.
Well, we're in the quarterfinals on the A piste where all the action will now continue. B piste has done its job through the 32 and 16, and Tognetti does level up in the final 10 seconds, and it now means that Yurt has to go after this. Yurt on the left. She's going to run out of time here. She doesn't finish the attack quick enough, and Tognetti goes through on time, but only just. We nearly lost the number 1 seed there. Tognetti finding a way to level things up from 2 hits down in the final 10 seconds. She saved her bacon.
Well, joining you on piece 8, looks like Yurt really gave Tognetti a run for her money there, Karim.
Yeah, got out to a really good start, and it made Tognetti have to work hard in the last 10 seconds, but she did the job. She's through, and she will be into the semi-finals. Now we go to the bottom half of the draw. Ronaldo of Italy on the left takes on Khalil of Egypt on the right. Khalil, the number 2 seed in the fence.
And they're off and away. Ronaldo, left hand with a French grip. Khalil should be careful of her point control here. Any slight movement, any mistake she makes, Ronaldo will catch her out as she proves us, picks up that first point, first 10 seconds. Khalil just asking to test if her point is working.
Yeah, more luck than judgment for most of the athletes when they have their weapon checked. If it doesn't light up, the last hit will be annulled. But it's hope in most cases when they go to the test.
Beautiful lunge and follow through to a flash from Khalil. But as we said, Ronaldo is really sharp with that target control. And she seems to be on a roll here in this direct elimination round, Ronaldo. Ronaldo drawing Khalil in, waiting for her to do an attack and respond. But if Ronaldo goes for that step forward, Ronaldo calling no point. Seems like point after hold and turning of Khalil's body.
Yeah, they passed each other there. I don't think one passed the other, but Khalil was 50% to blame for the crossing over of bodies, and you can't score after you've passed your athlete or your opponent. Same thing again, but the referee has given this hit.
I think it was a one action from Khalil after passing her. Ronaldo not happy with that. She's claiming she was maybe off the piece when she got the point, but it's up to the ref.
Yeah, no video appeals in the fence, as you would see in Olympic fencing. And Ronaldo still not happy. She felt that Khalil went past her before she scored the hit, the Egyptian. But hit stands, 2 apiece, and now Ronaldo just has to put that behind her and go after her opponent. She's going to run out of time if she doesn't land this attack. Well, the clock has run down here, but the referee is going to put a couple of seconds back on it. Because there was no hit scored. The clock stops automatically when a light comes up on the scoring apparatus, but if no hit is scored, then the clock doesn't stop, and it's up to the referee to press the stopwatch button. Got a very quick look at the tip of the épée sword. It's like a little plunger on the end. You've got to put 500 grams of force in to make the point go in and complete the circuit to make the light come on the scoring apparatus. And without trying to be too gory here, that supposedly mimics the amount of pressure you'd have to put on a sharp sword to pierce the skin of their opponent. Back in the day, even before my time on the piste, the athletes, the reason why they wear white jackets is because they didn't have electric scoring apparatus. They put a bit of tar on the end, or a bit of soot on the end of the weapon, and it will create a black dot on the white jacket.
Well, tension is building. And it's Ronaldo. You can see she's ecstatic with that win.
So the number 2 seed has gone. Ronaldo making it through. The number 10 seed is going to climb up through the rankings here, taking out Khalil. Looked to me like Khalil was leaving a little bit in the tank here, even in the fence in the first discipline. And that counter action was absolutely superb, thrilling the coach of the Italian fencer. And I think she'll feel a little bit of redemption there, because Khalil's second hit may well have been had the possibility of being annulled for Khalil going past. But now we move on to Malashinoka, the neutral athlete, taking on Karbovnik. Karbovnik taking out the number 3 seed Bauer. Malashinoka taking out the number 6 seed Kazali. So these two have already caused an upset, and one of them is going to make the semi-finals.
Karbovnik picks up that first point. Malyshenika launched herself, but it's Karbovnik with that quick reaction. 46 seconds left. We've seen Karbovnik really making time and time again with a beautiful parry 8 flesh. She really likes to switch it up between the parry 8 flesh and parry 8 lunge. She really has a strong parry that really takes her opponent's blade. Surprise, just a straight arm attack there from Karbovnik.
Mixing it up.
Yeah.
And for those that are new to fencing, the numbers are the lines that the weapon can come in. For a right-hander, 8 line or octave is down to the right-hand side, on the sword arm side in the low line, as it's called. Well, Karbovnik is making this look really easy, isn't she? She's in control and just doubling out there. Just one more point to make it through to the semi-finals.
Malyshenika ducks, scores the point just on the low line of Karbovnik. A duck is all about getting that timing on your opponent's step forward, but as Karbovnik launches for her lunge to pick up that 5th point. We say goodbye to Malyshenika and Karbovnik on to the semi-finals. Karbovnik up against Ronaldo of Italy. This will be a brilliant match to watch.
Yeah, number 14 against number 10 in the bottom half of the draw. And Karbovnik with that beautiful attack on preparation to finish the job off against Malyshenika. And no surprise, the Polish support team delighted with that. Now, by ranking, these two were deemed to make the semi-finals, but that hasn't been the case elsewhere so far. It is Flavin of France on the right, on the left, against Xiong of Korea on the right. 4 versus 5, Xiong with the higher seed.
Well, Flavin is one of the younger athletes from Team France, really proving herself with this World Cup season. She's put herself in a really good position in this ranking round, but it's Xiong, Korea's pride and joy. She's won bronze medal in Paris and is the 2024 world champion, looking to bring the experience to this piste.
All to the background sound of 1940s cinema music.
And Xiong, excellent flesh there.
Beautiful octave, 8-line beat to knock her opponent's blade out of the way, temporarily creating the opening for that attack against the French fencer. See Flavin on the right with her hand just a little bit further away from the guard. That's an indication of her pommeling nature, using a straight grip rather than the pistol grip to create a bit of extra reach.
Strong win for a straight line flesh, didn't quite get it, and it was no point. It was point off the hold. Flavin just looking for preparing underneath. Her hand went for the foot, but it's Xiong with those electric reactions. We had a view of Xiong practicing with a coach on the piece earlier on, and I think it was great adapting to the sun that she's got in before the spout.
She wasn't wearing that jacket when she was doing her training, though. It must be a completely different feeling. 1,600 newtons of force in the jacket and the under jacket, the plastron, as Xiong goes 3-0 up. And she is deploying what she was doing in practice with her coach. The 8 and 6 lines being used by the athlete on the left. Just going in from a little bit too far away this time.
Looks like Xiong just blocked off Flavin's épée onto her leg there. That often happens when you take parry 8. But you can see the mix-up of parries there, but it's Xiong launches herself for that point. Less than 4 seconds left. Flavin will be trying to pick up a point. She goes for that flesh, doesn't quite get it, and it's victory for Xiong. Xiong proceeds to the next round.
Yeah, semi-final against Tonyeti, the top seed, but Xiong took control of that fight from the beginning, using the 8 and 6 lines. There's a beautiful circular ceased closing action there. She missed on that occasion, but hit quickly with the redouble, to the joy of the Korean officiating crew. Xiong having to stay on now in the brutal heat for her semi-final. This is hot work out on the 14-meter piece. Xiong now up against the #1 seed for a place in the fencing final.
Well, Tognieti finished 5th in the fencing final in Cairo, 6th in the fencing final in Budapest, and 14th in Pozorcek. You can see that experience really paying off now. But it's just the first point, 50 seconds on the clock.
Had to build that hit, a couple of takings of the blade from Xiong before finally landing into the midriff. Xiong, the lower seed, does need to have the lead after the remaining 30 seconds of the match, but she's taking her time. Wow, I felt she attacked from a bit too far away there, but Tonyeti kind of got caught off guard, and when you see the body arcing backwards from the hips, you know the fence is in trouble.
You could really see that switch up of feints that Xiong was making use of. But it's now Tognieti applying pressure, pushing Xiong towards the back of the piece. Tognieti goes for the foot as well. Well, she said that as a feint, but it's Tognieti picks up that second point.
Yeah, a little fake with the circular cease a couple of times, and then closing out in cart, the high line parry across the body, and in close quarters, Tognieti lands the parry riposte. Xiong just attacking off the line there. It's not ready, steady, go offense. You have to build a hit. And Xiong does get back in on level terms. She has just under 4 seconds here to try and get the winning hit against the #1 seed. She goes for it. Oh! Now, I think that is going to score there for Tonyeti. Tonyeti is going to make it through here because the clock is against Xiong, and Xiong knows it. #1 seed through to the final of the fence.
Well, we wait for the semi-final of Ronaldo and Karbovnik. But just look at the replays from this bout. It's all about not stopping until the ref calls halt.
Not a bad run from Xiong, coming from 13th place into the fence. She is going to make moves right up the field after the fence is finished. She goes out in the semi-finals. Now for the second semi-final, Karbovnik, the #14 seed, going up against Ronaldo, the #10 seed Ronaldo, on the right-hand side with the seeding advantage. Well, off we go. A place in the final. These two will be pretty pleased with making the semi-finals, though.
Yeah, no, really a great build-up from these two athletes. Karbovnik applying pressure to Ronaldo, but it's Ronaldo who lures it in and picks it up. Just great point control from Ronaldo. Karbovnik looking to set up her attack. Launches herself for a lunge, but it's Ronaldo with that brilliant target control. Just waiting for her opponent to make a mistake and pick it up on the step back. Ronaldo goes for the foot. Will she use it up as a feint? Will she prepare with it as an attack?
Karbovnik needs to make a move here. Time is running out on her.
Karbovnik launched herself for that lunge, didn't quite get it as it is double point. scores 3-1 for Ronaldo. 13 seconds left on the clock. Karbovnik taking her time, tries again for that flash attack, but Karbovnik looking for those single lights. Double points in favor of Ronaldo.
Clever stuff from the Italian there, just using the sword a little bit to stop the oncoming Polish fencer, and she has done the job here. Ronaldo is making moves up the rankings here at the World Cup final.
We'll have an all-Italian final here in Alexandria.
Again, the importance of that first hit coming to play.
Yeah. And it's not just the importance of it, but it's the confidence that the athlete gets to. Really putting them in a safe position.
Well, here we go. The fencing final, the last fence for these women at the World Cup final. Tognetti doing her job so far on the right-hand side. The top-seeded fencer coming into the finals is into the fencing final. And she takes on her teammate. These two will know each other very well. Tognetti with the pistol grip on the right. The pommela of Ronaldo on the left.
Different technique that we see from Ronaldo. She's applying pressure to Tognetti, trying to set up her attack, making use of different feints as what she did to the foot. It's a game of cat and mouse. Who will make the first move or who will make the first mistake? Tognetti should be careful where she is towards the back of the piece. If that front foot goes across the line, it will be for Ronaldo, but Ronaldo ducks as Tognetti launches herself for that flesh, picks up the first point of this bout.
Yeah, you talk about cat and mouse. Some people new to fencing may not realise that some of the attacks, they may look a bit half-hearted, but they're not. They're exploratory attacks to see what your opponent's reaction is, and then you can prepare for the real attack a little bit later. But Tognetti controlling this with a defensive approach, and you fear that Ronaldo, so far unable to find a way through, he's going to have to go for desperation here, but that is a beauty of a first hit for Alice Ronaldo.
Time is ticking, less than 9 seconds left. Oh, and Ronaldo ducks and picks up that point. Tension is rising here, but doubles are in favor of Tognetti. It is Ronaldo needs to look for that single light. She'll look for that timing. Doesn't quite get it, it clocks out. And it is victory for Tognetti as she is the highest seeded fencer. 250 points for Tognetti, but nevertheless Ronaldo with 244 points and will still be pleased with that.
Yeah, from 10th positions at the start, she's come through in second place and will rocket up through the rankings. Fabulous stuff from the two Italians here on the 14-meter piece in the fence. Tognetti, though, living up to her billing as the top seed, takes the fence from Ronaldo. Xiong be pleased with third place. Karbovnik with fourth. Farida Khalil finishing in fifth place, but she looked like she was keeping quite a lot in reserve in the fence, and she will sit in fifth position after the fence. And you can see how beautiful the venue is here at the Arab Academy of Science, Technology and Maritime Transport. And this is the route that Tognetti took through the top of the draw to take the fence, the first of the 5 disciplines wrapped into one fantastically unique Olympic sport. And the standings after the fence see the two Italians at the top of the order. An 8th place climb for Ronaldo. Xiong and Karbovnik climbing 10 places each. They will be very pleased with their fence. Khalil won't be too worried, dropping 3 places. She's still in the top 6 and massively in contention. A big climb from Malashinoka, the neutral athlete, gaining 3 places and 224 ranking points. The remainder of the athletes in this middle group dropping through the field. Down at the bottom, a couple of athletes dropping down, Mayer and Suzuki, but Zukshaw and Areda climbing through the ranks in 15th and 16th place. The fence is done in the baking sun here in Alexandria. We're going on to move on to the fantastic obstacles next. But before we do, let's take a look back over the action on the piste. Well, the piste is a mere 14 metres long, but the athletes in that first discipline are fully kitted up with the 1600 Newton protective gear, fully closed from tip to tail. Well, I say a mere 14 metres long on the piste, because now they move on to the 70-metre obstacle course. Okay, they're not wearing full fencing kit, but they've got a long way to go, and the elevated obstacles, starting with the tipping ladders, is something absolutely incredible to watch. Great athleticism. Let's take a look at the athlete's view of the obstacle course.
Well, thanks to Jana Atia, who managed to put a GoPro onto her head. She's a female Egyptian pentathlete as she tackles those tilted ladders. Makes her way to the over, under, and through. And it's here, the fifth obstacle with the flying hoops, we will see really interesting tactics and techniques that the athletes will portray. On to the giant steps, and it's the seventh obstacle here, the climbing holds. Really a test of grip endurance. And the finish straight for the finish wall, to look for that finish buzzer.
Well, if the obstacles aren't enough, they have to climb that wall of death at the end, and we'll see athletes absolutely battling to get over the lip there. We have 9 heats, 9 pairs going out in reverse order. We start with our lowest ranked pentathletes as we make our way through the field to the top. Race against the clock, this one, so we do have to keep an eye on the time, and I'll keep a close eye on that to keep you all updated on who is doing well. We know from the semi-finals that Farida Khalil is the one to beat. She had a smashing, I think, 14-second better time than the remainder of the semi-final one a couple of days ago. But in the Junior World Championship finals, semi-finals last weekend, she did have a repeat of one of the obstacles, which put her back in the field a little bit. Now, the first heat for the obstacles. Yuri Suzuki on the far side going up against Vivian Mayer. Over to you, Alida.
And they're off. Step straight into the big wheel. Tilted ladders. Watch Vivian Mayer. She builds that momentum, but it's also Suzuki. Mayer makes her way over, under, and through. Straight into the flying hoops. She needs to commit to that catch and release. Brilliant landing from Mayer. Giant steps to the climbing holes. Quick hands here. And for the finish wall, don't have the time so far, but it should be around 31 seconds. Suzuki getting the job done to finish with that time buzzer. I'll tell you what, 31 seconds is a quick start for Mayer, and we'll see One of the faster times for the females will be around 30 seconds. That is the benchmark. I think it was Torpedo set about 30, 31 seconds in the semi-finals, as well as Tornetti.
Yeah, Suzuki's 46.07, not bad either, but Meyer has set a blistering pace here. Second heat sees Heredia of Spain on the far side, and with the white top, it's Özüksel of Turkey.
And they're off. Big wheel to the tilted ladders. Watch that one arm hold release, and that lâcher from Heredia. She lands, struggles on the over, and it's Özüksel who flips over, under, through. Flying hoops for the two athletes. Look at that one arm hold release and swing. Oh, and it's Özüksel with a penalty. With a fault, she'll have to return to the start, but it's Heredia making a run through to the climbing holds. Taking it carefully here, Heredia, but all she needs for that finish wall sprint. Looking for just under 45 seconds. 43.5 seconds for Heredia. Unfortunate for Özüksel, but a great comeback. Oh, it's the hands that is getting to Özüksel. She needs a big leap to get that momentum going. She needs a forward, backwards swing to help her get through this. It's all about transferring the weight from one arm to the next. Finish wall for Özüksel. 75 seconds.
Yeah, nearly 76 seconds there for Özüksel. A hug from her opponent. And have a look at the struggle over the over, under and through. This was the fault from Özüksel on these incredibly challenging flying hooks. Just couldn't get a grip on the last one. She slips away and has to go and repeat that. A real battle for both athletes. We move on to the next heat. Guzzi of Hungary against Castaudi of France.
Off and away, steps into the big wheel. Directly into the tilted ladders. Look at that one arm hold release. A swing from Castaudi, but it's Guzzi taking lead. Over, under, through. Flying hoops for Guzzi. Needs to commit to that swing. Swift and smooth from Guzzi.
Really nice, isn't it?
Dance through the giant steps onto the climbing holds. But it's Castaudi making pace here. Look at those quick hands from Castaudi as Guzzi's making use of it. Careful, but it's Guzzi off and away, onwards and upwards. It's 39 for Guzzi and 41 for Castaudi. Great stuff.
Oh, really, really good stuff from Castaudi, especially through those climbing grips. She really caught up, but through the elevated obstacles, Castaudi was brilliant.
It was here in the climbing holds, Castaudi really made use of faster hands just to catch up to Guzzi. She made up time there on the climbing holds.
Fastest time so far, Vivian Mayer of Switzerland, 31.76. Our fourth heat is Hurieva on the far side, and closest to us, the second French athlete, Kazali.
Kazali making use of that arm hold release. Swing to drive, but it's Hurieva and Kazali neck and neck. Slides under, pops right through. Flying hoops, she goes for that second part. Oh, look at that catch and release from Kazali. Smooth and swift from Kazali. Giant steps to the climbing hold. She goes for the other side of the climbing hold. Oh, look at that drive, look at that swing from Kazali. All she needs to master this obstacle. And it's a sprint for a finish. Looking for under 40 seconds. And it's just 40.09 for Kazali and Hurieva. 44.
Wow, real battle here for the athletes. Only a couple of got into the 30s, 31.76 for Vivian Mayer in the first heat, proving to be a real challenge for the rest of the field so far. Brilliant through the flying rings for Kazali. Next up, Malak Ismail. The Egyptian will have the support of the home crowd. She's going up against Hungary's Blanka Bar, closest to us.
Off and away, steps into the big wheel. Tilted ladder, real test of rhythm. And it's Bauer making use of great technique. Oh, but Bauer had a foot fault. Bauer will need to repeat that. Ismail on a roll. Flying hoops for Ismail. She goes for that second pot. Amazing from Ismail. She'll catch and release again to stick that landing. Doesn't quite commit, but she nails it. Giant steps for Ismail. Climbing holds. She goes for that first one. Oh, she hesitates with that second part of the climbing holds.
Yeah,
this will cost her.
She's just lost her momentum, hasn't she? Desperately trying to pick it up.
But good comeback from Ismail. Be under 45 seconds for Ismail. She must have lost grip there on the climbing holds, but it's Bauer finishing up here. Left, right for Bauer. Sprint finish.
Oh,
digs deep.
She has to, doesn't she? Real struggle there. If you fault on one of the overhead obstacles, it is a real battle, and you can see that Ismail now sitting in 5th place, but we still have 4 heats to come. And there was the foot fault from Bauer. Hands going up. What are you going to do?
And it was Ismail's technique on the flying hoops which really got her to shave off a few seconds, but it was the climbing holds that got to her. It's just that final grip strength.
Heat number 6, Anastasia Malashinoka on the far side in white against Anna Yurt.
Swing on the big wheel, tilted ladders. Malashinoka using an arm on, one arm hold release. 3 moves in one, a leap, a duck, and a dive. Flying hoops for Malashinoka. Yurt catching up, look at that catch and release from Yurt. She'll do it once again for sticking the landing. Great comeback from Yurt. Flying over those steps into the climbing holds. Oh, look at that quick movement from Yurt. Swift and smooth from Yurt. 42 seconds for Yurt, and Malashinoka finishing up her run. 47 seconds for Malashinoka.
Practicing in the Swiss Alps, Anna Yurt, by the looks of things. Really swift through the climbing grips, and she sets a 42.43. She caught up in these flying hoops, and she certainly was flying through the obstacles here. Bad time from Malashinoka, 47.35. He's going to put her down the field a little bit. Now, heat number 7 includes the super speedy obstacle racer Farida Khalil, closest to us, going up against Colleen Flamant of France on the far side.
Swing from the big wheel straight into the tilted ladders. Watch Khalil as she laches from the next tilted ladder. A leap, duck, dive from Khalil. Flying hoops. She'll grab and release. 1, 2, 3. Sticking that landing. Eating the steps up with ease. Flying, climbing holds for Khalil. No hesitation. Skips that last bit. Finish well for Khalil. It'll be under 30 seconds.
Brilliant course record there from Khalil. We expected something special, and she delivered. Not a bad time from Flavin. Flavin inside 40 seconds. We'll be pleased with her efforts, but what a run from Khalil. Now, I did spot that she missed the last of the steps running into the final obstacle, but she may have jumped straight over it, and I wonder if that conforms to the rules.
Yep, no, she will get away with it. It is just touching that last bit, but I think Khalil is safely through.
Now, 2 more to go. Karbovnik of Poland on the far side, going up against Xiong of Korea.
And they off, big wheel, straight into the tilted ladder. Watch Karbovnik tackle those tilted ladders. 3 laches in 1. Over, under, through for Karbovnik. What will she do on the flying hoop? She'll go for that second part, catch and release, swing for the last climbing, but sticks that landing. Quick feet on the steps, climbing holds. No hesitation with this, great grip strength.
This is superb from Karbovnik.
Sprint finish, and it's just 34 seconds for Karbovnik. Xiong finishing off on the climbing holds, going through safely. Sprint for the finish wall, and it's a 40.82 finish for Xiong. Great stuff from Karbovnik.
Yeah, it felt like a quicker time than that, but she missed the buzzer the first time of asking, had to go for it a second time. She probably added another second to her time with that, but she was so quick right from the start, really fast through the tilted ladders. And here the giant steps into the final overhead. There was the first miss. She didn't quite get far enough, and then a switcheroo of hands. In fact, it was the third time that stopped the clock. The last of the heats, the 2 Italians, Alicia Ronaldo and Aurora Tognetti, number 1 and number 2, coming into the obstacles.
And they set and they're ready. Onto the big wheel, straight into the tilted ladders. Watch Tognetti, and she uses that one arm hold release. Brilliant from Tognetti. Flies over, under, straight through. Flying hoop, she goes for that second part. Catch and release, build that momentum. Look at that hip drive, sticks that landing. Quick feet on the giant steps to the climbing holds. No hesitation for Tognetti to sprint for the finish. No hesitation, under 34 seconds for Tognetti, and Ronaldo on the climbing holds. Great stuff from Ronaldo. Lands and straight onwards and upwards. It's a 50.13 second for Ronaldo.
So Tognetti super fast through that final heat. She will climb up through the rankings, I think, with the second fastest time. So really good obstacle course for the leading athlete as we take a look back over that final heat. Gained the lead really early on and just then pulled away from her teammate.
There was brilliant technique that she showcased on the tilted ladders. Watch that one arm hold release, and then into the flying hoops where she laches, which just ultimately means let's go from one obstacle to the next. All about that grip strength. Look where she grabs the flying hoops on top more than on the bottom so that she avoids that slip.
Super stuff from Tognetti. Second fastest time in the field behind Farida Khalil. Khalil winning the obstacles with a 29.20 women's course record here in Alexandria. And after 2 disciplines, just look at the top of the field. Tognetti hanging on to the top of the leaderboard, in fact climbing a place into first. Farida Khalil making 4 places in the obstacles. We knew that she would gain ground, but she's already up in second place. Karbovnik, a very quick time in third with a 34.86. Fala, Yurt and Kazali completing the top 6. Keep an eye on the points, 5.95 for Tognetti at the top. And we drop down to Ronaldo in 7th place at 5.39. Each point is 1 second advantage for the leader in the laser run. So we keep an eye on that. Guzzi and Castaudi climbing 4 places in the middle of the pack. And Suzuki making up another place as Bauer dropped down after the foot fault along with Uxukshul. Well, we've done the first 2 disciplines. It's time for a refreshing dip in the pool as the athletes prepare. Let's take a look back over the fantastic obstacles. Amazing how quickly the athletes have adapted to the obstacles here and this evolution of pentathlon. They move on from the obstacles to the pool now, and after the adrenaline rush of the obstacles, a slightly slower paced swim, and pace is the key really in this 200-meter freestyle. 8 laps of the 25-meter pool, and the key here is about the position that you're in and how much energy you want to put into the swim to set yourself up for the laser run. But fascinating development with the obstacles coming in, and development between the semi-finals and the finals, with only one athlete breaking 30 seconds in the semi-finals. That's Khalil, and by the time we got to the final we had 5 athletes breaking 30 seconds. Maya, Khalil herself, Flavin of France, Karbovnik with a really super quick time of 34.86, and even faster, the number 1 ranked athlete Ton Yeti from Italy. Well, Anna Yurt from Switzerland went round in just over 40 seconds, and we have had a chance to speak to her.
The transition between the OCR and the swimming really depends on your position. Some girls have more stress, some girls have less stress, but I think like the first thing in mind that you have is just to get as fast as you can into your bath suit. So that's the first thing I'm doing, and then it's just like to breathe, to control, and to be like to maybe go through the race again, because yeah, you know the race, you've done it a lot, but it's just like mental preparation. You're already warm, your body is ready, so you have to have your mind prepared. No, I really try to be like in the present. I think that's super important, especially for example, for me, I'm doing the OCR. I just started with that discipline. So for me, it's really important to stay in the present, to really focus on what I'm doing. And as soon as you're hitting the buzzer, you're like, okay, what's next? So, and you know your plan. I think that's something a lot of athletes are doing also in advance. You get through the competition, you know what to do, what's your next step. So it's really about like what is now, you did it, and what's next. So you're like, yeah, progressing. Like, unfortunately, I cannot say that swimming is a real strength of mine, but so I'm not like really trying to go slower, because I'm not yet in the position to go even slower. So I guess I'm just like swimming my race, doing my pace, do what I learned, what I'm doing in training, and just focus on that. And as I said, you're always trying to be in the present. So you do the swimming, you do full gas, 100% in swimming. You go out of the water, and then you concentrate for the laser run.
Well, Yurt goes in heat number 3, so we'll see her a little bit later on. As she says, she's not the fastest of swimmers, but she's got herself into a good position coming into the swim in 5th place, but 51 points behind the leader, Ton Yeti. Our first heat features 2 really super quick swimmers in lane 1. Mala Shinoka, here she is, leading the athletes out for this first heat. And in lane 6, Özüksel of Turkey. Those 2 have swum 2 15s in the last 12 months. So just to give you the full lineup, Mala Shinoka in 1, who'll be closest to the camera. Then Hurieva, Eredia, I should say, Suzuki, Bauer, and Özüksel. Interesting to see how fast these athletes are prepared to take this swim. 3rd discipline at the World Cup final for the women. And we are underway with heat number 1. We are looking for the 2 fastest swimmers closest to us and on the far side of the pool.
Strong start. Lane 1.
Well, it looks like Mala Shinoka, who's pulling away in the lead there, and further out in the pack is Yuri Suzuki of Japan. It is the first 50 of 4, turning on a 31 second. So it's all about keeping the pace in the 200 meters. If Suzuki can keep this up, she should finish around the 2:16 benchmark. And we love to say 25 meters, all about those tumble turns and underwater. Every second can shave off with an underwater or even in the breakout, but smooth stroke rate from Suzuki.
Yeah, she's really pushing out hard, isn't she, at the start of the swim? We weren't necessarily expecting her to lead this one. It was Zukshil and Malashinoka that we thought we'd be looking at, but Suzuki swimming super fast.
Well, here you have Malashinoka at the bottom of your screen, turning on third. But keep your eyes out for Ilko Zuksu. I mean, in Pozarchek, she started off in 17th in the qualification, ran her way into the semi-final. It was a run of a lifetime. And it's not the first time that we've seen a Zuksu perform like that. So she might perform again today. She's catching up or just trying to pace herself amongst Yuri Suzuki. They're on to their last bit of the race.
Zuksu far end of the pool.
So it's those dolphin kicks that we are looking out for after the turn. But look at Malashinoka and Ozuksu just leveling out the field here with Suzuki. Maybe a tactical play to just pace themselves for that last bit of juice at the end. And it's a quick time for Suzuki, 2:16, 2:17 for Ozuksu as well as Malashinoka.
Yeah, surprise package. Suzuki Yuri, 2:16.40 through the 200 meters, and that's the time we need to keep in mind for the rest of the swimming heats. 2:16.40, the fastest time in heat number 1 from the Japanese athlete. She's trying to make a move from the bottom 6 to climb through the rankings in the swim, Suzuki, and it wasn't the best of starts from the Japanese athlete, but by the time we got to the first turn she was quite far ahead, so clearly she has targeted the swim to gain places.
Yeah, and this 200 meters all about the pace of every 50, and they practice the pace of their 50 in their trainings. They know exactly what their time feels like. Maybe as what we've seen, Suzuki knows she needs to turn on a 31, and then thereafter maybe around 32 for the rest of the 200.
Heat number 2 coming out. We have heard the shorter swimmers do prefer the 25-meter pool. Sometimes they swim in a 50-meter pool like they did at the Junior World Championships last weekend. Suzuki proving that the 25-meter pool suits the shorter athletes. Heat number 2, and lucky for us, the fastest swimmers are closest to our main camera. Xiong in lane 2 has a 2:11.47 this season, and next to her in lane number 1, Renato of Italy. Completing the lineup, we've got Guzzi in lane 3, Castaudi in 4, Mayer in 5, and Ismail of Egypt in lane 6.
Well, I'll tell you what, this swim is really going to have a change in standings from Ronaldo all the way to Ismail. They're only but 4 seconds, 5 seconds away from each other. So really important swim for these athletes here for the start of the laser run.
Heat number 2 of the swim at the World Cup final for the women is underway.
For heat 2, Seong going fast.
You have Xiong in your screen. She makes her way for her first 25 of this first 50. And then just closest to us we have Elise Ronaldo, but it's Malik Ismail further out in the pack who's trying to keep up with Xiong.
Yeah, she did this at the Junior World Championships, didn't she, Malik Ismail? Going out hard in the swim. It didn't pay off for her in Sekesheverova because she blew up a little bit in the laser run because of the effort she put in the pool, and she did finish with bronze, so it wasn't all bad, but she needs to be careful about her pacing. She'll turn in 2nd place on the far side of the pool.
Will be interesting to see the splits which Xiong turns on, to see if she's really keeping up that first 50 pace. She turned on at 30 seconds. She's kept it up. It should be around 1 minute. It is 1:04, so she is slowing down a bit, but that's what all that first 50 is about, just getting a good start and then keeping it throughout. This is the third 50 of 4, where the legs need to get out, and you can see that 1-2 rhythmic kick from Xiong. Really good stuff there. She's not having a pause in her kick, which is really, it's a motoring through with the kicking. And Ishmael, and it looks like Guzi are pacing against each other. It's a turn for the last 50 of 4.
Yeah, brilliant stuff here in the pool. Xiong leading the way. And in second place, is Malak Ismail is keeping up with Xiong. In third, Guzi. Just need to look at Renaudot in lane 2. Is she going to start kicking a little bit harder, or is she happy with her position, saving a little bit for the laser run?
Well, Guzi is in a dangerous position here for the rest of the field if she has a good swim. She's an excellent laser runner and could really find herself in podium contention. 2:15 for Guzi. We always say try to get underneath that 2:20 benchmark to set yourself different from the rest of the field, and Guzi will be dangerous for that swim.
Yeah, very dangerous indeed. A good call there, spotting her climbing up the field. Guzi putting herself in a really strong position. 2 really quick times, 2:14.33, the fastest time set now by Xiong in the second heat. But Guzi, the one to look out for. What happened to Renaudot in lane number 1? She seemed to slow up a little bit halfway through that swim.
I think it must have been a tactical swim for Renaudot, trying to save herself for the laser run.
Let's see how far back she is. And lane 1 just being occupied now. And that is an interesting one. And as you called it, the middle of the pack is going to be really interesting. Lane number 1 for Heat 3 occupied by the leading athlete, Tonyeti. And then Khalil in lane 2, Karbovnik, Flavin, Yurt and Kassali. The top 6 athletes coming into the swim are ready to come out, led by Aurora Tonyeti. Fastest time in the pool in the last 12 months will come from lane number 2, Farida Khalil of Egypt, the 14-year-old. Swam a 2:11.43 in the last 12 months. Just inside her, Małgorzata Karbovnik of Poland, who has performed really well in the obstacle course race. She sitting in 3rd place in the rankings coming into the swim. Now they're going to have to put down a fairly reasonable time here, this top 6, because their chasing pack in the middle have set the pool alight here in Alexandria. Heat number 3 underway. Tonyeti, Khalil, Karbovnik, Flavin, Yurt and Kassali. That's nearest to farthest in the pool.
I love the stroke from Karbovnik. Really looks like she's dancing through the water. It's really just about setting her pace, but it's Khalil striding through. We usually see Khalil sort of at the top of the seedings at this phase of the competition. So Khalil will be looking to put in a speedy time. Khalil turns on about 31 seconds. We're interested to see the split times on that 100 to see if she slow down or keep the pace up. But it's Khalil, Karbovnik and Tonyeti neck and neck.
Tonyeti lane 1. It's Farida Khalil leading.
Karbovnik really keeping up to Khalil.
Egypt, the crocodile.
So it's a 1:04, so that means Khalil did a 33-second on that second 50. She needs to keep the pace up if she wants to go around 2:11 or 2:13.
Impressive stuff from Tonyeti as well, putting in a swim that's keeping her solidly in second place. Karbovnik in 3rd. But Khalil looking to extend her lead at the top of the rankings and overtake Tonyeti in the meantime. Lane number 2 looking super strong still. She doesn't know how to hold back, does she, the 14-year-old Egyptian?
No, she's excellent with every single discipline, but it looks like Karbovnik is just at Khalil's feet. She must have told herself, keep up with Khalil, keep up and pace yourself to put in a good time. And it's Khalil and Tonyeti pacing amongst each other. Last stretch, last bit of this 25 meter. The head is down. And it's a 2:14 for Khalil.
And hitting the line in second and third, not very much between them, Tognetti and Karbovnik, as the rest of the field come in, led by Flavin, Kasali and Yurt. And Farida Khalil set a 2:14.07, the fastest time in the pool. Tognetti will find herself dropping down just a little bit, certainly in the swimming rankings, to 5th place, overtaking Malashanoka in the pool. But we need to have all these points pulled together from the 3 disciplines as we take a look back at this third heat. Khalil, this time the one leading the line, and as expected, she's right up the top of the rankings going into the laser run. 14 years old. This is an athlete who is at the beginning of a journey that could be history making in this sport. Finishes the swim in first place, the Egyptian. Has she done enough to climb to the top of the rankings over Tognetti, who had around about a 10-point lead coming into the swim? We are going to find out right now. Oh, not quite. Tognetti still leads the field, but only by a single point. Each point is a second advantage in the laser run. So Tognetti will start first. Khalil 1 second behind her. We then have a drop of 16 seconds to Karbovnik. Another 31 seconds to Flavin. That top 3 have broken away. Xiong has done so well to keep in the top 6 along with Guzzi. Now the trailing pack, Renaudot, Kasali, Ismail, Malashanoka, Castaldi and Yurt, and they are starting to drift away. 8.71, the leading point scorer, Tognetti, and these athletes are going to find themselves starting with a massive handicap. The top 3 have got some distance between the chasing pack. Tognetti, Khalil, Karbovnik will start the laser run in first, second and third. That's the swim done. We are going to move on to the combined laser run very shortly, but before we do, let's take a look back at the action in the pool. Well, the pool has proven to be the place for the chasing pack to try and catch up, but it's the 3 leading athletes that have broken away from the pack as we move from the pool back into the main arena and the laser run. It's all action in the laser run. You've got to keep your eyes peeled, but we are now focused on the front of the pack. They will do 5 laps of the course. After the first lap, they'll visit the range for the first time, where they have to shoot the target 5 times. We'll get green lights appearing on our screen on the left-hand side of the graphic, and that tells you how well the athletes are progressing. They'll continue around the track with 3 more visits to the range before completing the final lap. And this is all a race for the front and the World Cup final title here in Alexandria. Women's final here at the 2025 Pentathlon World Cup final in Alexandria is going to be concluded with the laser run. Aurora Tognetti of Italy is leading the line with 871 modern pentathlon points, 1 point ahead of Farida Khalil, translates into a 1-point head start for Tognetti in the laser run, and then just 17 seconds behind her, Małgorzata Karbovnik of Poland goes out in 3rd place. There is then a big drop to Colleen Flavin of France, and this is what the athletes will be looking at as they enter the range. They're looking for the green lights appearing above target number 1. They need 5 of them before they can progress. And just missing shot number 3. And finally getting out of the range and around the 600-meter track. This is brutal in these conditions. The long straights will provide opportunities for athletes to overtake. The bends aren't too tight, so not really too much for the athletes to worry about there, but perhaps they won't be looking for overtakes around the outside because they are long, the bends, so it really is a long way around. So we have seen overtakes on the track here, but we will be looking in the range for those overtakes. A slow and steady pace through the inner rings. There's an inner loop that goes one way then t'other, and this looks fairly comfortable because there's a nice bit of evening shade when this point of view video was shot. But when we come back to the venue, you will see that there is baking sun glazed all over the track. Now when they come through to the end, they'll be in the right-hand lane and go through that arc, and whoever crosses that arch first will become the 2025 World Cup final champion. And the leading athlete, Aurora Tognetti, getting ready and prepared. She will have Khalil behind her, and Tognetti with her lucky charm being put on. She can't wear that in the pool, but she's allowed to wear it in the run. And she is leading the line, but she's going to be hunted down by Farida Khalil, and we were lucky enough to talk to the 14-year-old sensation.
أنا فريدة خليل بطلة عالم خماسي حديث في منتخب مصر. ما بين السباحة والرماية أنا ببقى متمرنة كويس جدا إن أنا أبقى مركزة في الرماية، عشان الرماية دي محتاجة تركيز كبير جدا. إن أنا أبقى داخلة مركزة، فالسباحة مهما عملت أنا داخلة مركزة كده في الرماية. مهما أي حاجة حصلت في السباحة كويس أو وحش مفرحش ومزعلش قوي، عشان لسه في جري ورماية، عشان الرماية أهم حاجة بتبقى في البطولة. أكيد يعني ببقى محتاجاه جدا في الرماية بالذات، لأن المنتل في الرماية محتاج تركيز قوي عشان أفضل أرمي 5 من 5. فالمنتل دي حاجة كبيرة قوي في الرماية، إن أدخل في الرماية أنا مركزة بس مركزت في الجري، أنا مركزة بس في الرماية عشان أعرف أضرب. طبعا فرحانة جدا الفاينل في بلدي، لأن في ناس كتيرة بتحبني وبتيجي تشجعني، ويعني أنا حاسة إن أنا إن شاء الله أروح للجولد، وإن أنا في أمل كبيرة في ربنا إن أنا أروح للجولد. وفرحانة جدا يعني الفاينل في بلدي، المكان اللي اتمرنت فيه وبيتي وكل حاجة.
Shokram. Farida Khalil, an incredible athlete, and obviously pretty good in front of the camera as well. 14. What? What's going on?
No, she's really proving to be outstanding this season, where she really started her run off with that gold medal in Cairo, and just medal after medal, and really incredible from Khalil. But she seems to have amazing mentality for such a young age, and I think that's amazing. I think it's incredible. And we've seen her junior world champ. She started off with a 10-second penalty. A lot of athletes that age, they will rattle them, and she started off first as well. And she really keeps a cool head going into the laser run, but as you can see, she's just really present in every single discipline.
I'm trying to keep a cool head. The person that's going out in front of her, Tognetti, she'll have Khalil right behind her. Just a second handicap for the Egyptian. Spoiler alert, everyone, I'm afraid. Khalil is the one to beat here. Anyone that beats her to this World Cup final will have had to have a brilliant run shoot, because she is a phenomenon. But I won't apologise for the spoiler alert, simply because we're about to watch, I think, the beginning of a massive story, because Khalil is only 14 and she could be here for a very long time. Now look at that drop off to 4th, 5th and 6th. 31-second wait for Colleen Flavin after the 3rd placed athlete Karbovnik goes out. And as we drop down through the field, look, it is possible to gain ground here, but these athletes will need to have really good shoots to gain up time in the range because it is so hot out here. You cannot go too fast on the run. Last three athletes are more than 90 seconds behind the leader, but they will go out in a pack at the end. I think we'll be quite surprised if we see any of them challenging. Perhaps Bauer can climb through the rankings.
Well, I must point out we have Xiong and Bauer. They've had a showdown and a sprint finish in the 2024 Senior World Champs, where Xiong picked up gold, and Bauer picked up silver. So I think there's a showdown between those two again.
Controversial coming from the back. I mean, you know, good point. Yeah, they have got form, but they are a long way back. They are an awfully long way back. It would be amazing to watch them, which we will, of course. Suzuki 1:44 behind the leader. Bauer 1:58, 1 minute 58 seconds behind the leader, Tognetti. I think we've got to really focus on what Khalil does. We are ready to go for the laser run at the 2025 World Cup final. We're focused on the front, and Aurora Tognetti starts us off with Farida Khalil just behind her. Italy leading the line from the host nation, Egypt. Coming out very shortly will be Małgorzata Karbownik. Karbownik makes her way out of the start-finish line, and we have then another 31 seconds before the next athlete comes out. And Khalil has already taken to the front as we look at Karbownik coming into the back straight in third position. They're still waiting at the starting lineup for the next athlete to come out. So these three out front have a massive, massive lead. And the French athlete, Colleen Flavin, waiting in the wings. She is about ready to go. You can see as Flavin comes out of the box that Karbownik is almost out and through into the inner loop. And Farida Khalil has already got a 15-meter lead at the front. She is trying to break away early doors as fourth and fifth come into the back straight. And got to be fair to them. They are running hard to try and close down the gap early at the back of the pack. You can see picture in picture the athletes coming out of the start-finish straight. They are chasing things down here as Khalil out front is coming out of the inner loop and is almost completed lap number one. And the rest of the field just coming out of the start-finish straight as Khalil comes around the final bend. She can see the athletes that are starting in 15th, 16th, 17th and 18th place. Are we going to see athletes lapped in this? It is possible. Tognetti staying with Khalil out front.
Well, further up in the pack, we already have a takeover between Flavin of France and Xiong of Korea. She's now in fourth position. Keep an eye on Xiong and Blanca Bauer further up in the pack. They are laser run specialists and sure to prove a great performance here. But we have Khalil about to enter her first shooting series.
So important in the range. In position number 2, the leading athlete, Khalil, hits target 1 and 2.
It's just 3 green lights for Khalil, so she's sitting on that 4. And it's 5 lights for Khalil, off and away.
7 shots to complete the 5. Tognetti now trying to get that 4th, which proved tricky for Khalil. It's more tricky for Tognetti. She does get it, and Tognetti still waiting to get a 5th shot. Karbownik catching up. She's got 4 out of 5. Karbownik's out of the range with a 6:22 in the range. Karbownik is going to be all over the back of Tognetti here on this second lap. And Farida Khalil is miles ahead already.
3 green lights for Xiong, 4 green lights for Xiong. Xiong is off and away with a 10-second shoot. Xiong is still in a race here as she'll hunt down Karbownik. Tognetti sitting on that 2nd position, but it's Karbownik who will be looking at the back of her.
Yeah, good run from Tognetti in 2nd place. She's opened up a bit of a gap over Karbownik. after Karbovnik's amazing first shoot. Some of the athletes in 9th place, 10th place, just coming out of the range for their first visit. Khalil is going to come into the final bend with athletes still in the range. Bauer, Meyer, Suzuki, Ozukshaw still in the range, still trying to get out after the first shoot as the leader, Farida Khalil, comes around the final bend and into the home straight. She has nearly completed lap number 2, and the athletes from lap number 1 are still in the range. Suzuki desperately trying to get her fifth shot on, and Khalil comes to the start-finish straight. And finally Suzuki gets out of the range, and this will serve as motivation for the leader here, because if she can have a good second shoot, she's going to see the athlete in 18th place right in front of her. Khalil into the range, leading this race by some way.
Khalil looking for those 5 green lights to get her off now. Look at that target, look at that precision. 3 green lights for Khalil, 4, and she's out of the range. It's under 10 seconds shoot for Khalil. Khalil has her eyes on gold. Tognetti enters the range, and we'll look at Karbovnik.
Unbelievable this is. Khalil has come out of the range on the second shoot before the second athlete has come in.
Well, look at the accuracy of Tognetti shooting on the right-hand side of your screen, but Karbovnik had a 6-second shoot in the previous shooting series, and it's 7 seconds for Karbovnik. She's out into second position, and Tognetti falls into 3rd place. We have a takeover from Karbovnik.
But Tognetti is a better runner. She proved that on the second lap, and she's already closing the gap here. You've got to feel that Karbovnik is perhaps pacing herself in the heat here as Tognetti just glides past her on the back straight. But it's all in the range, and now look at Xiong. She's running hard in 4th. In the background there, the pair of Xiong and Flavin still in the hunt for medals at the 2025 World Cup final. Miles out front though, it's Farida Khalil. She is leading by, I would say, nearly 100 meters now. It is so impressive from the Egyptian out front as this chasing pack go after her, led by Tognetti.
Well, it's on this 3rd lap that Xiong is really shifting the gears now. She will overtake Karbovnik. Xiong in a race for medal here, but as well as Flavin of France. Tognetti seems to be tiring away, and so is Karbovnik.
Oh, Xiong coming up behind, but Khalil is running hard into the home straight here. She perhaps is starting to feel the heat a little bit now. It's a lot more humid up here in Alexandria than it is in Cairo, where the Egyptians train. So these conditions are not ideal for anyone in the field. You'd think perhaps the Egyptians would have an advantage, but it's sticky here.
But exciting stuff happening on the 3rd running lap. Xiong, who started up in 5th position, now in 3rd. She is about to take over Tognetti to be in that silver medal contention.
And Flavin has overtaken Karbovnik. Karbovnik dropping back through the field here as Farida Khalil gets her shooting started. The 3rd visit to the range, and she's already got 4 out of 5. She's going to come out of the range in a massive lead here. Gets 13 second shoot here for Farida Khalil as Xiong enters the range now, having taken 2nd place. Tognetti and Flavin come in at the same time. This is all about the shoot for the minor medals as we see Xiong's precision target in the top right-hand side. Great shooting from the Korean.
And it's 7 seconds for Xiong. She's off and away. Will she be able to catch up to Farida Khalil? Karbovnik with that amazing shoot again.
No, she can't, surely. This would be some run from Xiong. Karbovnik with another great shoot out in 3rd, but Xiong coming down the back straight. She's going to cross with Khalil on the first of the inner loops, and Karbovnik is relying on her shooting here to keep her going.
What's happening to Flavin in the shooting range? But she's off and away.
Guzzi's overtaken, Guzzi I should say, has overtaken her into 5th. Flavin is going to need another strong run as Guzzi comes down the back straight. But here we see Karbovnik, who has been superb in the range, as Xiong with the massive lead here.
Amazing stuff from Xiong, but not only from Xiong, but from Guzi too. I'll tell you what, they're in for a sprint finish here on this fourth running lap.
Watch out for that graphic there. We've got the splits between the times on the track and the times in the chute. Karbovnik shooting so well, is holding on to third place, but Xiong ahead of her has got some breathing space. Talk about breathing space. Here you can see the gap between second and third on the inner loop, but breathing space it is for the leader, Farida Khalil. She's so far ahead, she's almost not getting featured here. She's coming into the range for the fourth time as she gets the bell. Farida Khalil leads from Xiong and Karbovnik as we start the final chute with the leader.
Well, it is the last shooting series for this laser run. Farida looking for those 5 green lights. Look at that accuracy on the top right-hand side of your screen. 4 green lights for Khalil, 5, and she's off and away. Eyes on gold for Farida Khalil, but it's Xiong who's just entering the field for her last shooting series.
5 out of 5 for the 14-year-old as Xiong gets 2 out of 2, 3 out of 3, 4 out of 4. Xiong is on for silver here. Has she got it in the legs to take out Farida Khalil here? And the third place race is a hot one. Tonyeti is in there with Karbovnik and Gutsi. Karbovnik entering the range first.
3 green lights for Karbovnik. Guzi, 3 green lights, and Karbovnik with the 8-second shoot. Guzi is out of the range. Guzi will be looking to hunt down Karbovnik. It is a battle for this bronze medal.
It is an absolutely mammoth battle for the bronze medal. Karbovnik leading it. Guzi has come up through the field from 6th position. She is fighting for the bronze medal along with Tonyeti, who started the race in first place. Colin Flavin is not too far behind, but out front, Farida Khalil is coming around the back of the inner loop as Xiong tries to hunt her down. That's the gap between silver and bronze.
It is on the straight we will see the overtaking. Will Guzi catch up to Karbovnik?
7.7 seconds in that last shoot for Karbovnik. She was brilliant in the range, and that has put her in pole position for bronze as Farida Khalil comes into the final straight. She is going to lap the athlete in 18th place, and look at her sprinting hard for the line. The 14-year-old is about to make history here at the 2025 World Cup final, punching the air and crossing the line for gold. 14-year-old Farida Khalil has taken the top spot here in Alexandria. The hunt for the bronze medal still on as Guzi has moved up and overtaken Karbovnik. Tonyeti sitting in 4th and coming in for silver medal. It's been a tremendous performance from the Korean. Song Seung-min is going to cross the line for silver here in Alexandria. And what a sprint to the line for Guzi, who finishes with bronze. Oh, what a run from her. She was so close to silver in the end, but taking gold, Khalil does it on home soil by 26.35 seconds. Xiong in silver, Guzi in the bronze medal. Well, as the rest of the field come in here, we had the feeling that we were going to have history made here in Alexandria with their very own Farida Khalil. She was electric through that race, taking the lead early. She held on to it up front. Xiong doing a great job to take silver as Malashnuka comes over the line in 11th. And the finishers coming through. What can this field do about the might of Farida Khalil of Egypt? She was able to pace herself through the final lap. Renaudot making it over the line for 15th place. Ozukshu and Maya will be coming in next. it's amazing to make the World Cup final. But when they look back over the times, they need all to do a little bit of extra work. Well, they do enough as it is, but Farida Khalil is something special. And she's going to have crossed the line a full 2 minutes ahead of those finishing in 16th, 17th and 18th position. Azukshaw makes it over the line. Meyer just behind her, and coming up the rear, Suzuki from Japan will complete the lineup. All 18 athletes making it over the line in these steamy, hot conditions is a testament to each and every one of them. Suzuki finishes the race, but Khalil, she was dubbed for the gold here. She said she was going for it after winning the Junior World Championships last week at Gutzi. What a surprise, or not so much a surprise, but what an amazing run through the last 2 laps. Run and shoot from Gutzi. Those stats will be something to look at, that's for sure. Xiong gaining ground early doors, moved into 2nd position and sucked up Tonyeti. Karbovnik was in there and she had a great shoot, but in the end, Xiong and Gutzi, overall, when you combine their shoots and their run times, well, you'll see where they gained ground. But they just couldn't gain ground on Farida Khalil. What a moment. 14 years old, and that means we are at the start of potential history being made here for the 14-year-old Egyptian. Let's look back over the race, and Tonyeti came out just a second ahead of Khalil, but Khalil lapped up the opportunity early doors to take the lead, and by the time we got into the back straight, no more than 30 meters from the start, Khalil was already leading. She was unbelievable with her first shoot, 6:22, 6 seconds 22. And she was out, up and running, and the lead that she had was impressive, but Tonyeti struggled with her first shoot, and the pressure that was applied by Khalil from the start was amazing. Karbovnik in 3rd was awesome in the range, but these athletes were miles behind. Karbovnik taking 2nd after the 2nd shoot. Tonyeti getting the place back on the run. And this was a real tussle between Italy and Poland. Karbovnik better in the range, but Xiong came to play on the 2nd lap, overtaking Tonyeti. Farida Khalil was in a race of her own out front. She left the range at the 2nd time, miles before the chasing pack entered, and she was up and running. This 3rd shoot proving spectacular for the Korean. Starting in 5th place, she got up into 2nd, but still miles behind Khalil as she got the bell, and she did a just over 10-second shoot for her final visit, the Egyptian. But Xiong had built a big lead herself and was comfortably sitting in silver medal position. Karbovnik coming out of the range for the last lap, started in a strong position to go for the bronze medal as Khalil comes over the line at 14 years old, taking her first World Cup final title here on home soil, to the delight of the Egyptian crowd. Xiong had a strong run to finish in silver, but it was Gutzi who performed the best in the final lap. She paced herself beautifully to claim the bronze medal, and she wasn't that far behind Xiong, who clearly had bags of time behind her and just eased up over the line. Gutzi collecting the bronze medal, and what a performance in the end from those two to come up through the pack to get themselves on the podium. Farida Khalil stealing the show here in Alexandria. And this is how things shaped up in the Women's World Cup final. Farida Khalil at 14 years old, taking the title here in Alexandria. Xiong Sunmin from Korea having a great time in the range, taking the silver and Blanka Guzi of Hungary taking the bronze. So the rest of the field came in a little bit behind that group of 6 athletes at the top. A full couple of minutes behind. Suzuki and Ozukso finish up the top 18, and they are amazing, all 18 athletes completing this World Cup final. But now it's time to speak to the athletes that will be on the podium, and it's over to you, Alida.
Well, congratulations, Blanka. What an amazing race you had here. It's almost another showdown you have with Xiong in the Senior World Champs. Tell me, what was it like going through from the laser run, from the start to the beginning? You started in 6th, but what was going through your head for that bronze medal?
Look at me, I'm extremely happy because I felt myself in a good form, but I didn't know how can I manage the heat and the sun, so I just focus on what's inside. I should bring it out, and I didn't think about the rankings and which position I can reach, so that was the key, I think.
Amazing stuff, and incredible laser run you had once again, and you're going to compete in the Senior World Championship sooner on the season. How will you prepare for this and recover from this World Cup final?
I really hope I can Rebecca Crafts-Taudi. So I hope I can grow my performance due to the months, because the World Championships will be at the end of August, and we will have the European Championships in Madrid at the end of July, so it's not so far. So I have to maintain this form, I think.
Yep, so the race is not over yet for you, but great stuff, Blanka. You have a chance to send a message back home, because I'm sure you have family and friends watching.
Thank you. Hát nézzétek már, úristen, első alkalom, hogy világkupa döntőbe itt tudok állni a dobogón, úgyhogy hát üdvözletemet küldöm a családomnak, és ezt az érmemet az újdonsült családtagunknak, Ivánnak küldöm szeretettel, és persze Szilasnak is, úgyhogy sok puszi innen, és köszönöm, hogy vagytok.
Well, thank you very much, Blanka, and congratulations once again on your bronze medal.
Well done, Alida. Brilliant questions there from Alida van der Merwe with Blanka Guzi. No rest for the wicked, eh? The Hungarian going on to the European Championships in Madrid in just a couple of weeks' time. A busy schedule for them. Busy schedule for Alida as well, because she's down again with the silver medalist.
So congratulations, Song, on your silver medal. Incredible laser run once again. It is tough weather conditions. Tell me, how has it been competing in the weather here in Alexandria, and how have you managed to compete here?
오늘 너무 축하하고, 레이저런에서 엄청난 레이스를 보여줬는데 이렇게 더운 알렉산드리아 날씨에서 어떻게 이겨냈는지, 극복했는지에 대해서 한번 얘기해달라.
날씨가 너무 더워서 육상이 퍼질까 조금 걱정되기도 했는데, 저는 원래 처음부터 뛰는 스타일이라 처음부터 밀고 나갔는데 다행히 체력이 받쳐줘서 끝까지 밀 수 있었던 것 같고, 또 사격에서 실수가 준결승 때는 나왔지만 결승 때는 잡은 것 같아서 거기서 조금 메달을 딸 기회가 생겼지 않나 싶어요.
And in Alexandria, the weather is very hot, so so a little bit is a problem. But it's my style is the first running is too fast time, so it's very focus in the point, the very big point, and then in the shooting is I was semi-final is shooting is a little bit missing, but today is the very focus is not missing, so very happy, and then so very nice today. Thank you.
Excellent stuff. And one last question: you've competed in hot conditions before in the Paris Olympics, where you picked up the bronze medal. Going from horse riding to obstacles, how will you change your technique in the obstacles, and how much time do you think you have before the Senior World Champs, and where you can maybe pick up a gold medal?
파리 올림픽 때도 굉장히 잘했는데 파리 올림픽 끝나자마자 장애물로 바뀌면서 그 시간이 굉장히 적었을 텐데 어떻게 훈련을 했는지랑 어떻게 극복했는지 마찬가지로.
시간이 적었던 거는 지금 제 장애물 실력으로 보여주고 있는 것 같고, 그리고 짧았던 만큼 저도 준비를 되게 많이 하고 있고, 아픈데도 열심히 하고 있어서 조금 시합을 계속 해 나갈수록 더 좋은 장애물 실력을 보여주려고 하고 있습니다.
And then we finished the Olympic Olympic Games, and then we can start the obstacle. But I think I was experienced in just only 6 or 7 months. But now the obstacle is point a little bit bad. But every day is very try again and the training. So sometimes my hand is very hard, but it will be okay. But each competition is I think is much better in the obstacle is times. So thank you.
Excellent stuff. And one last thing, just send a message back home to your family and friends that are watching.
한국에 있는 가족들한테 한 말씀.
이미 지켜봤을 거라 생각을 하는데 2등이라 아쉽지만 다음에 1등해서 들어갈게.
Thank you very much and congratulations on your silver medal here in Alexandria.
Good point there from a leader. How much time can Song get in the obstacles to really put a challenge on Farida Khalil, who is an exceptional athlete through all 5 of the disciplines. And here she is talking to a leader, the new World Cup final champion.
Well, Farida, congratulations on your gold medal. We've said it once again, gold is your favorite color. But tell us, what was the highlight of this competition today? What was your favorite part in this race?
ايه احسن جزء ليكي في المنافسه النهارده؟ ايه كانت احسن حاجه عندك؟
صراحة يعني كله كان كويس أوي الحمد لله، بس أحسن جزء خلاني يعني ألم كل ده اللي هو الأوبسكيلز. يعني أنا فعلا مبسوطة جدا وبشكر ربنا إن هو خلاني أكمل لحد كده.
She says that the best part for her is the OCR, so she gets back to the competition and she gets the best record, so she can get back to get the gold medal.
Amazing, and you had an incredible obstacle course today. What do you think will motivate you to get better and better to improve your time in the obstacles? Because you're just amazing in the obstacles, and we're just so interested to hear how you'll improve from here.
بتقولك ايه اللي بيخليكي بيشجعك ان انت تحسني من نفسك في الاوبستكل؟ قول لنا ايه السر اللي انت بيشجعك عشان تبقي احسن في الاوبستكل كل مره عن مره؟
صراحة يعني أنا صراحة يعني اللي بيخليني أقوى إن أنا واثقة بنفسي جدا، إن أنا عمري ما خايب ظن نفسي إن الحركة دي ممكن توقعني، لأ لما أحس بحاجة غلط طب دي مش مريحاني، لا افضل اقول عكس ان انا هقدر اعملها، هقدر اعمل كل حاجه، مفيش حاجه تخوفني.
The secret for her is the self-confidence to go to the obstacle one by one and to have it and it's easy for her to, even there is a problem, she have to solve it by herself and to get every time better than the last time.
That's amazing, an amazing mentality that you have. You're really strong and focused, but now you have one chance to send a message back home to your friends and family.
بيقولك عندك ابعتي رسالة للناس اللي معاكي هنا، لاصحابك وللفاميلي بتاعتك، لعائلتك.
أنا بحب أشكر كل الناس إن هم جم هنا وقفوا في ظهري، ويعني ما بطلوش يشجعوني لمدة لحظة، حتى لو ما خسرتش سلاح هم فضلوا يشجعوني لحد ما أجيب ذهب، فأنا بشكركم كلكم.
She thank all the family and all the friends that they keep supporting her even after the fencing. They keep supporting her to get the gold medal until the finish, and she get it.
Amazing stuff, and congratulations once again, Farida, on your gold medal. Congratulations. Okay.
Just 14 years old. What more can she do? Can she be faster over the obstacles? She's pretty darn quick right now. Farida Khalil, the 2025 World Cup final champion. And she's only going to get stronger. Well, the arena here bathed in sun, and it will be the medal ceremony to come very shortly. With another gold going around the neck of Farida Khalil. Well, the athletes going through their warm down, and in fact I can see some of the male athletes beginning their warm up. They go in their final in our second live session a little bit later on today, local time bang on 11 o'clock in the morning here, with the men due to come out at 4 p.m. Well, Wonderful scenes for the women's final, and that they will get presented with their medals very shortly. But dashing back to the commentary position is Alida van der Merwe. Brilliant questions there, Alida. What more can we expect from Farida Khalil? I loved your question. How can you get faster on the obstacle course? Can she go faster?
Well, I mean, we've just proven. I mean, we've seen her in Pesachek, where she's beaten that 30-second benchmark, 29, and then again 27. So it's really incredible to keep up with her and her journey in modern pentathlon.
Certainly is. There's plenty more from her to come. We are witnessing the beginning of a fairy tale story, I think, in modern pentathlon. But what a race it was in the final. Take a look back at the laser run, the conclusion of the Women's World Cup final. Aurora Tognetti starting out in the lead, but just 1 second behind her. She was quickly lapped up by Farida Khalil. Coming out in 6th position, 57 seconds behind the leader, was Blanca Guzzi, and she was coming to play. Farida Khalil had taken a big lead after the first lap, and visiting the range for the first time, she shot unbelievably well. A 6.22 second shoot for the first one, and Khalil, if there was any doubt, was fully up and running. Aurora Tognetti came out of the range in 2nd place, but 3rd place starter Karbovnik was awesome in the range. Khalil with her 2nd visit, another quick time, and Karbovnik on her 2nd visit took the lead, the 2nd place from Tognetti. Glasses coming back on, but Tognetti in the back straight stole silver medal position back straight away. A very strong run from Tognetti, but coming up from behind, starting in 5th place, 52 seconds behind the leader, was Seung Min. She performed incredibly well, but miles out front in a race of her own, Farida Khalil came out of the range for the 3rd time with a huge lead. The fight for silver and bronze continued. Karbovnik falling away in the run, but she was spectacular in the range. Not quite as good as Seung, who came out in silver medal position. A bit further up the field, Khalil got the bell. Her last visit to the range was pretty spectacular. Song, 2nd into the range, had built a lead over the rest of the pack, and she was out clear in 2nd. The race for bronze continued behind, though, into the final lap. Karbovnik coming out in 3rd position from the range, but she was hunted down by the Hungarian. What a moment here for the 14-year-old Egyptian on home soil, coming across the line 26 seconds ahead of the rest of the field. She dominated the Women's World Cup final for gold, but what a run from Guzzi. She left enough in the tank to sprint across the line just behind the silver medalist Seung. But you could see Guzzi wasn't too far behind, and what a run to collect the bronze medal for the Hungarian. A magical finish for the minor medals, silver and bronze crossing the line. Guzzi expressing her gratitude and her happiness at putting in that performance in the final lap. But all the plaudits with Farida Khalil taking her 1st World Cup final gold medal. We'll take a look back over the results from the World Cup final. Standings after the laser run. Taking the gold medal, Farida Khalil from Seung Min and Blanca Guzzi. Time now for the awards ceremony here in Alexandria.
Colleen Flavin, France.
So
5th
Colleen
position,
Flavin
Italy,
finishing
Aurora
in
Tognetti.
6th. Tognetti started
4th
up front,
position,
finished
Poland.
5th And she was in the hunt for the medals, but just missed out. Małgorzata Karbownik from Poland in 4th place. Flowers for the athletes finishing 4th, 5th and 6th. But now it's almost time to get the medals for the top guns. Certificates and flowers though for 4th, 5th and 6th.
Andrea handing over the certificates, and as well as Steffi Cook, gold medalist in the Sydney Olympics.
Steph Cook, now part of the medical commission for UIPM. I wonder how Steph would have done over the obstacles back in Sydney. The equestrian event was, she excelled. Amazing to get the medals presented by an Olympic champion. The biggest smile here in Alexandria. What a run, what a shoot, and what a final lap. Absolutely full of energy. And I can tell you, I'm completely zapped of energy just sitting in the commentary position to go through the effort that Blanca Guzzi did in the final 600 metres. Something to behold. And she now holds the bronze medal.
The winner of the silver medal after a strong competition. It's from Korea, Jeong.
Tremendous performance. Had got into silver medal position after the second shoot. Jeong Shin-min from Korea managed to put a big gap between her and the rest of the pack chasing down the bronze medal. She was so comfortable that, like the gold medalist, she was able to just ease off in the last 150 metres.
So it looks like Paris gold medalist Ahmed Al-Gendi handing over that silver medal to Jeong. Great to see him and making an appearance here at the competition.
So Song Shin-min of Korea with silver.
The crocodile of Egypt, Farida Khalil.
Brilliant. The crocodile of Egypt, 14-year-old Farida Khalil. I did warn you, I did say it was a spoiler alert. She was the one to beat. And even with that target on her back, she blew the field away. And in almost every discipline, maybe perhaps the fence aside, she was stunning. Unbelievable athlete with plenty more to come.
And we have Rob Stoll winning over the gold medal.
Top dog in the UIPM, Rob Stoll. And the champion here, and the top dog of the Women's World Cup final, Egypt's Farida Khalil with the gold medal on home soil in Alexandria. And I bet she'll keep these pictures in her archive. What a performance, what an athlete. And it's just the start of the journey for this 14-year-old. She gets to celebrate with her national anthem.
Afghan Farida, gold medalist.
What a performance from all 18 of the athletes. Only 3 can get onto the podium. Blanka Guzzi with the bronze for Hungary. Song Ching-min with silver for Korea. So right in the middle on home soil. Farida Crocodile Khalil with the gold medal on her first World Cup final title.
Alexandria, World Cup final. Big applause for our athletes.
I can wipe the smile off the faces of those athletes. Karbovnik so close to getting on the podium, couldn't quite make it on the run, finishing in 4th place. And Colleen Flavin finishing in 5th place. What a wonderful performance from the 18 athletes. Only 3 could get the medals. Khalil with gold, Song with silver, Guzzi with bronze here at the 2025 World Cup final. That's it from the women's session. The men coming a little bit later on today, but for now, thanks for joining us. We'll see you in a few hours' time.
Thank you, everybody.